morning, good day and good evening everybody. Hey folks, Michael here, and I finally got some time to work on a couple of Tamiya cars. So we got the Blackfoot III 4-wheel drive on the table today. It's actually a Wild Dagger that's been converted into a dual hunter. And then for a couple of videos and for a couple of runs, I actually fitted the Blackfoot III body on it. So it has run just fine. I still need a lot of adjustments to the chassis and the suspension, but for this summer it has done all right until the last run where it started to make some very funny noises. So I had this for runs, a couple of runs up in the summer house, vacation house, where I simply didn't have my air compressor or dryer or anything, so I pretty much just washed it and tried to dry it as much as possible. But there has definitely been a lot of rust seated on some metal parts. And I think, if I remember correctly, I also lost my fan after a little dip in the ocean. Now on the beach, where it started to make the funny noises, which I have never heard, I just assumed it was the diff because it sounded terrible, and one of the front wheels actually got hung up and blocked. But upon some more inspections here, the diff is actually functioning as it should. It's got some AW grease, so it's not the smoothest diff, but something is definitely going on with this front wheel. So my theory right now is that I don't have to rebuild the entire gearbox, which suits me just fine. But some of the problems with the Wild Dagger is actually that the front drive shafts, which are the same length as the rear ones, cause some issues. So I have actually made it even worse because, as you can see, I fitted some adjustable upper arms here, and they were actually a bit too long. I tried to shave them down a little, but still a bit too long, so it has left me with some, I can't remember if it's positive or negative camber, but I would definitely like to have, if you can see it, my wheels a little like this. So right now I got a little bit on the opposite side, so I definitely have to change these for the stock upper arms, or maybe just get some shorter ones adjustable. Got a little bit toe in. I don't think you can see it on camera. Camera always cheats when it comes to toe in and toe out, but there's a little bit toe in, so that's fine. But I would like to get the tires more like this, so they won't flip as easily. And I think this angle with this camber position is actually putting even more play into these dog bones. So they simply, I think you can see it here, they simply, very easily pop out of the wheel shaft here. If you experience these types of problems, the best way is to get a couple of millimeter longer drive shafts. If you won't do that, I don't think I won't do that, maybe change the camber so the C-hub is sitting more here and forces the dog bone into the wheel shaft here, and some O-rings inside the outdrives here, and maybe we'll try to limit the steering on your transmitter so it won't be turning all the way because it just pops out here. So yeah, as expected, there's definitely a full layer of rust on the bearings. But unexpectedly, they're actually turning quite freely. So even this one, I don't know if you can see it, but it's turning freely and quite smooth. So yeah, I could replace it with these. I get in 1150 bearings with in packages of 50 or even sometimes 100 from eBay, extremely cheap. And these even got the rubber seal, which means they are easier to maintain and keep dirt and dust and water out of it. These are definitely maybe a bit too short. I have rounded off the edge here, so that is probably why the problem didn't appear in the beginning, but slowly appeared because this has been more and more rounded. So I have to check my wallet and see if I can get some new wheel shafts here, or if I have one laying around. Of course, I can also wing it here and just flip it to the other side. So there's an O-ring, and I have to fit definitely one more and then turn down the steering, the dual rate on the whole truck, on the transmitter, and of course get some other and shorter upper arms or even turnbuckles. Yeah, just blasted them with some WD-40, and I think it appears that some of them definitely have more than surface rust, even though they actually spin fine. I think I'll have to give up on these. But yeah, with the problem I have, I can swap these one out and adjust the steering angle, the EPA or dual rate on my radio. Maybe get some longer. If you have some good tips for some other drive shafts, I know GPM Racing did make some CVDs for the WT, WR-01 and TL-01 and all that. Maybe even the DF-03 buggy CVDs fit the WT-01, but maybe a little longer than those just specified. And I know there's probably, I don't know if they're still available, but I think GPM and some others have also made some steel outdrives and steel wheel shafts. So if we get a bit of a weird steering angle, we won't as easily, at least, round the edges of these. All back together again, and the extra O-ring and the diff cup or outdrive have definitely helped it a bit. But I can definitely see the problem returning once we get to round those corners again. Need to take off the Blackfoot III mounts here. Also in the rear it's actually the same, but it's just cut shorter. Back to her former self again, and I'm happy because she's a runner again. I can at least enjoy a couple of runs like she is now before the problem will probably reappear if I don't get the drive shaft problem sorted out. She will definitely also need some camber adjustments, and that will also be good in terms of rollovers and flips. Check out my main RC channel up here. No waffling going on there whatsoever. A lot of run videos and all that. But yeah, that's it for now. Happy holidays to you all, and keep them running.